We're here back at the Fantasy Bar, 6 plays for you for Friday night in the NBA, including some of my favorite value plays. Some guys in the mid-range I think have big ceilings tonight. A DraftKings only play for you. And of course, my favorite play of the night. Who we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here in the Fantasy Bar. Thank you so much for hanging out and checking out the video. Now, before we get into the plays, as always, you guys know the drill. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and go and check out scoresandodds.com/beer for everything sports betting. All right, let's get into the Friday night plays. Just 7 games on the docket. We've narrowed it down to 6 of my favorite plays. All right, let's start with Detroit at power forward with Jerami Grant. So this young Detroit team been playing some good basketball, covering spreads, winning some games here of late, but Jerami Grant really been a big part of this. I know Kate Cunningham steals a lot of the headlines, deservedly so, but Grant really scoring the basketball here, 20 or more points now in 5 straight games. That gives him 20 or more now in 9 of the last 11 games. We look at this matchup. Washington has struggled in this department, bottom 5 in the league in allowing points to the power forward position. So love Grant to hit 20 again. Little bet for you there as well, the over on Jerami Grant's points. And he's been giving us a solid floor here in DFS. Only 1 game under 29 fantasy points on DraftKings over the last 11. And we've certainly seen that ceiling over the last couple games, averaging over 45 DraftKings points per game. Good matchup here for Jerami Grant tonight against the Washington Wizards. All right, let's go to the other side at shooting guard, small forward, power forward, a lot of flexibility here with DENI AVDIJA of the Wizards. Now, Kyle Kuzma once again questionable tonight. Does not sound good for him. Obviously, Porzingis, a guy you can look at on the high end, but AVDIJA, a guy that's been getting more and more opportunity here. We know Kyle Kuzma has been huge for this team without Bradley Beal, so a lot of usage on the table here, and we've certainly seen some upside here in the mid-range. We're talking 3 games over the last 5 where he's hit 30 or more DraftKings points, so comes anywhere near that, under 5,000. We're loving life here in our GPPs. Now, Detroit, this has been a spot they have struggled. Obviously spends a lot of time at that small forward position. 2nd most fantasy points allowed here have the Pistons allowed. So nice little correlation here. A lot of ways you can go with this Washington value. AVDIJA, cream of the crop for me here tonight. All right, let's get you another guy with a ton of positions. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward. That's TERANCE MANN of the Clippers. So you look at the price discrepancy here, and you really want to jump on this one over on DraftKings. 7,000 on FanDuel. I don't hate that price at all. A little bit easier to make a lineup over there. But DK all the way down to 5,500. So let's jump on this price here tonight. Now, we know this guy's got a lot of upside. Now, very much boom bust. Can be frustrating in your cash games, but tournaments, this kind of ceiling that I'm looking for here, 35 or more points in 3 of the last 4 games here. And the minutes starting to steady out a little bit. We know they've been dealing with a ton of injuries here with the Clippers. When he's getting the minutes, and we look up late, last 2 weeks, last 4 weeks, generally right about a fantasy point per minute guy. So I'm expecting 30 to 35 minutes here against a very good Philadelphia team. That should equate to 30, 35 fantasy points. We're talking 6, 7x returns here tonight on DraftKings. All right, let's go to our next play, and that's KRIS DUNN of the Blazers. Took over the starting point guard job from Brandon Williams in that last game against the Spurs, and we've seen the Blazers in total tank mode, trying to see what they have here with KRIS DUNN. And we know, going back to his days with Minnesota, Chicago, this is a guy that can stuff the stat sheet for sure. Not going to go out there and score you 30 points, but going to contribute in every single category here. Probably knows this is his last shot, so Blazers are going to get a look. He's going to give it everything he's got. This matchup ideal here. 3rd most points allowed. Do the Houston Rockets allow? The most steals, which is key here. KRIS DUNN, one of the better steal guys when he's in there, already averaging 2 steals per game. And of course, the most fantasy points to this position here as well. So as Brandon Williams' price has spiked, KRIS DUNN remains a value. Take advantage tonight here on DK at 4,500. All right, let's go to the other side of that game at point guard or small forward with Kevin Porter Jr. Now, we know KPJ, one of my favorites. You've seen him a ton here in the 6-pack, pretty much has his own bar stool here as well. What I really like tonight, a couple things. First of all, ownership should be very minimal here with the recent play. Been scoring in the 20s, hasn't been terrible, but we haven't seen a massive game out of him in quite some time. That being said, we dig a little bit deeper. We look at the last couple weeks. We've seen 6 40-point games for him here of late on DraftKings. So we know that upside certainly there with Kevin Porter Jr., a guy at any time can break the slate. And it doesn't get any better than a matchup with the Portland Trail Blazers here. most fantasy points allowed to the small forward position. And even if he's playing some point guard, bottom 10 there as well. KPJ, solid upside option here in the mid-range. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play. Before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Night contest. Free to play, easy to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video. Guess fantasy points on FanDuel tonight for my favorite play of the night. Closest guess, going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. While you're down there, I want to know who your Beast of the Night is. Sound off there. Give me your top play of the night as well. All right, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night. You know I'm asked. The Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We still owe you a center. We are rolling with Rudy Gobert of the Jazz, tonight's Beast of the Night. So I want to keep prices down here a little bit. Everybody under 8,000 on both sites, making life easy on you here. Rudy Gobert, the center I'm looking at tonight. Double-doubles left and right. In fact, 11 of the last 14 games, he has checked that box. Can pretty much count on the double-double. We know the block shots certainly there as well. Very valuable over on FanDuel. One meeting with Charlotte earlier this season, 23 points, 21 rebounds for Rudy Gobert. So a big 20-20 game out of him. And the Hornets, we know, been a struggle against centers. Bottom 5 in fantasy points allowed, second most points allowed, and second most rebounds allowed. Rudy Gobert in a smash spot here tonight. My favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll wrap us up for Friday night in the Fantasy Bar. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, please hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget your Beast of the Night pick. Sound off in that comment section, and fantasy points for Rudy Gobert on FanDuel for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist